could a man have a marriage to a 5-year-old consummated if she started precocious puberty?
If she starts showing signs of physical maturity, then yes, that's permissible, as I stated. That's
what about
the
age
principle.
4?
If there are signs
3.
of... So this is something that becomes biologically impossible because precocious
I have a
puberty,
study
there are
that shows
no...
it goes as early as 11 months.
All right, well, that's something that the parents would not... see, the thing about Islamic marriage is that parents are involved at these ages. And when you look at the marriage of the Prophet, peace be upon him, to Aisha, her parents were involved. And so she was not living with the Prophet, peace be upon him, even though she was married to him. So the parents have oversight. And sometimes a qadi or a judge can have oversight if the guardians are not capable to make sure that the rights and the physical well-being of a child are not, or a minor, are not harmed by that marriage.
What?
That's your counter.
My question was, where does the evidence, do these studies say the reason we started condemning child marriage was because of industrialism and feminism? Do they say that?
Yes.
Read them.
I cited
Because
Montesquieu, the first Western expression.
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, the Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation, jizya. When enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. But the ruling is for Sharia. If they refuse, then we have to fight. Then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land. Because you refuse, I give you 2 good options. This is the strength of Islam. But nowadays, forget this. Maybe in the coming 40, 50 years when the Muslims become strong.
Just...
yeah. If they refuse...
2 good options. 2 good options. You didn't go along with it. Yeah. I think people in the West believe that that's just what happened hundreds of years ago and doesn't happen anymore.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yes? And we, you know what? We'll be watching.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. That is definitely a concerning clip. And he has 800,000 subs.
800,000 subs.
Yeah.
He's the most popular Muslim YouTuber.
There aren't Christians online that I'm aware of with that kind of rhetoric.
Both Islam and human rights are in 100% agreement that women are accountable if they break the law. And that means Islam and human rights are in 100% agreement that women should be beaten. We only differ on who should do the beating.
That was good.
Like...
that's a little bit, yeah, that's not how logic works. I'm probably more prone to laugh at these things, but it's actually scary. If suddenly that's how all your neighbors think, then it's scary.
I love how so many of these Islamophobes don't have the ability to represent me fairly by calling this child rape. How is it child rape when there is parental consent?
See, that's crazy, but that's part of the reason that's crazy, other than what he's talking about, is because he actually doesn't understand. He's actually like, how is it child rape if there's parental consent? It's like, how can you ask that question? But he actually doesn't understand, which is even scarier. Why would I be in trouble if the parents consented? Yeah, whoa.
And the context of this was Prophet Muhammad, who, according to the Islamically authentic texts, married one of his wives, Aisha, when she was 6 years old, and consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old, meaning he took her to bed when she was 9, and he was in his 50s. And people call this child rape. And he's basically saying, how is this child rape?
Yeah, wild, wild.
Here, Mohammed Hijab, with 581,000 subscribers, says, I believe certain anti-Muslim women would wish they lived in the medieval period, a period where if a war was won by the opposing side, it was conventional that people could be taken as booty. Some historical accounts actually say some women would dress up for the captor.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't... He like lives in the UK, right? Isn't he at Oxford?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what to like. I don't even know what kind of response to have to that. He would like. How does he know?
This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You know, you seem obsessed with Jewish sex. It's bizarre. Yesterday, you actually spoke about Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yes,
you
I did.
actually you said
Yes,
to
I
Ben
did.
Shapiro,
Yes, I
your
did.
wife's a carrot. Well, you're more of a man. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
I did.
Then you said that Jews have BDSM. You're speaking about sexual lubricants while people are dying. You know, Muhammad, get your head out of the Jewish bedroom. It's really bizarre.
Can we get it? Can we get it?
Let me be
Anyway.
clear.
No.
Sexual lubricants? How
You
embarrassing.
sell dildos, don't you?
Can we get it back?
You sell dildos, don't you?
Can we get it back to the
You sell
topic?
dildos.
You speak about 5-year-old girls being
No, I
ready
don't.
for sex.
Guys,
If you look just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old.
Speak about 5-year-old girls being
No, I
ready
don't.
for
Guys,
sex.
come on,
Listen,
You're
let's go
a
back.
liar.
Let's go
You're
back to
no
the
liar.
issue.
You're no liar.
Let's go back to the issue. Let's go back to the issue.
Let me ask you a question.
Why are you shaking? I've got a vibrator in your pocket.
Come on, it's a serious debate.
I think he's got one of his daughter's vibrators in his
Come on,
pocket.
leave it, please.
He does.
You are just
It's stupid.
humiliating
We're
yourself.
going to cut all
Get
this
back
stuff.
to the issue.
We'll cut all this stuff
Yeah.
out. So there's no point.
Why? Why?
No,
Leave
cut
it.
it
People
out.
should
Uncensored,
see what he
uncensored.
represents.
There's no
It is
point
uncensored.
abusing each other personally.
Oh, no,
Okay, Piers.
I want to stick to the debate.
Let's get to the debate.
You don't want-
So here's one. I believe certain anti-Muslim women would wish they lived in the medieval period. Yeah, a period where if war was won by the opposing side, it was conventional that people could be taken as booty. Some historical accounts actually say some women would dress up for the captor. You see? You guys getting this? So anti-Muslim women, so women who criticize Islam. Hijab says that basically deep down these women were wishing that they lived in the medieval period where you had war, and it's different from war today. Today, if you fight a war, if the United States goes to war and so on, they're not going around taking women captive as war booty and stuff like that and taking them back and banging them. If a soldier does that, he'd be in trouble for it, and he'd go to prison for it. But back in the day, it was considered part of the spoils of war. You just go in there, hey, we defeated you, now we get to take your ladies. And he's saying that anti-Muslim women wish that they lived in this time because they're basically waiting to be captured and taken as war booty by people like Muhammad Hijab. What do you think, ladies? Because there's a lot of ladies in the chat here. A lot of ladies in the chat here who criticize Islam. So what do you think? Is he right? Is that what ladies are waiting for? They're just, oh, I wish I could be conquered by Muhammad Hijab. Him so strong and manly and eloquent and such.
Well, obviously, why else would he say it? Why are you even asking the women?
Yeah. And then, hey, AP, and then we've got these awesome messages from Hijab that he was sending to you. I'll start at the top. You two can play with each other. Get on your knees for the wood. Gimp, Daily Wire can give you a golden shower. Go ahead and give Daily Wire what he wants. Wink. Yeah, this is the champion of Dawah, ladies and gentlemen. This is the hero of young Muslims everywhere. Let D-Wood give you a golden shower. Gimp, get on your knees for your master. Boy, you can suck that. Golden showed. Golden showed from your master. Golden showed. Golden showed. Oh, here's more. I know you need a slave master. Golden shower. Gimp, get on your knees for your master. Let him slap your face, you fiend. This is the hero of Dawah. This is the greatest da'i of our time. This is how he rolls. But it doesn't stop there. This one's directed towards AP. Gonna avoid using the word because YouTube tends and stuff. If you mention the S word here, if I were an anxiety-ridden, hate-filled, nihilist atheist like Apis, hey, that's the apostate prophet, I would consider ending myself as a serious option. That is because the world offers such humans more pain than pleasure. The pain of being a coward, the pain of having no purpose. Just find a tall building and... What's he telling you to do here? Might as well jump. Go ahead.
But he doesn't really tell me to do anything. He just says find a tall building. What if he means like take a photo of a tall building? You know? We don't really know.
Yeah, or like set up a cool studio in a tall building to expose Islam.
Yeah, could very, very well be true. I mean, how do we know? How do we know?
How do we know? And then we have Apis. Here's where he addresses you directly. Apis, I want to give you sincere advice. I think you should end yourself, not because you are a talentless coward or because you are a waste of space. I think the world is offering you more pain than pleasure. It is not morally objectionable for you, so why not? Well, just think, Muhammad Hijab, if AP had taken your advice, he wouldn't be a super base Christian right now. Or Kate Schumann. Kate Schumann. So, guys, again, this is the champion of Dawah of our time, right? So, women are waiting to be taken as captives. That's what they really want. Golden showers, golden showers, golden showers. By the way, can you imagine what this dude's doing to his wives? If everything he posts is like, golden showers, golden showers. Oh, you like golden showers? Yeah, be strong than you. Oh, boy, what a weirdo.
By the way, golden showers.
Yes, gotta have the golden showers. Then we have this classic that led to a lot of Quran desecration over the years.
Oh, boy.
This, by the way, was about Mrs. Apostate, AP's wife. And this is what he said. And underneath this, he's responding to a tweet from her. But he says, when these anti-Muslim attention whore Islamophobes need to get on their knees, and this is the one where you have to look at what he does. He is aware that if he says certain things, he would get banned. So what he would do back in the day, I don't know if he still does it, but what he would do back in the day is write everything out to where it's clear what he's talking about, but then add a bunch of words so that he could have plausible deniability and say, no, I was saying something else. So when these anti-Muslim attention whore Islamophobes need to get on their knees, but then he'll put in intellectual submission, before they are whipped by freedom of speech, by the Twitter Muslims, and they reluctantly open their mouth in protestation to find they have been defiled by truth. So you see, you're reading between the lines here, ladies and gentlemen. Get on their knees before they are whipped, and they reluctantly open their mouth to find they have been defiled. And then what does he do? He just adds intellectual submission, freedom of speech, in protestation, defiled by truth. So he has all these. That's his
intelligent. How is he doing this?
He's so smart. Let me put out all these threats of raping and abuse and torture and stuff like this, and I'll just add some words. What a sick. And guys, again, this is the hero. This is the hero of Dawah. And then after he posted this, he called on his fellow Muslims to do the same thing. So to go after everyone's wives. That was the message. Don't go after AP and Abdullah Samir and other ex-Muslims. Don't go after them. Go after their wives. Because normally, this would be the idea back then, heaping threats and insults on people, sometimes that works. It doesn't work with the people the ex-Muslims who started calling out Islam. And so he's realizing, wait, our normal tactics don't work. So let's try something else. Let's go after all their wives and stuff. So after he posted that, he said, I call upon all of the Muslim Twitter soldiers to work within the full scope of the law to create maximum damage to the cause of Apus and his public figure with AB. They are demoralized and on the ropes. Do not let the weak-minded Muslims deter you. Finish them. So he was encouraging all his followers to go out and follow his example of heaping these threats of torture and rape and so on.
I really want to ask Muhammad Hijab, looking back after all of these years, does it seem like this worked?
Yeah. How do you think this went for you, Hijab? Because all I recall from all this is we started eating the Quran and stuff, and you guys backed down like a bunch of little girls, and then you stopped this whole little plot. So it didn't work. And now, guess what? Quran desecration was very rare back then. It was very rare. People, when people did it, people thought they were weird. Now, it's normal. It's a part of everyday life all over the world. All thanks to Muhammad Hijab. And of course, we have way more to thank Muhammad Hijab for than just this. He was the mastermind who undermined the perfect preservation nonsense by getting Sheikh Yasser Qadi on with him to expose all the different versions of the Quran and so on and how it's all been a lie. So that's awesome. But then we have this. He doesn't just talk to non-Muslims or critics of Islam in this way. What do we have here?
Okay, can I fuck your wife's tit to make a moron?
Every so often I forget about this. Man.
And then Boo Noor says, what kind of mannerisms are these? Shame on you, Muhammad. Why is it wrong? He believes it's halal. He's asking to suck another man's wife's breast. The amazing part to me is not that, right? The amazing part is that he's literally making fun of Allah and Muhammad in this, because this is what Allah and Muhammad said. It's okay. Sometimes the idea, everyone, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but if you're new to Islam, in the Hadiths, you read about some verses that are missing from the Quran, and they're missing verses about breastfeeding adult men. And you say, what's that about? Well, the idea was sometimes a man would have to go out of town, but his wife would have to be around another man, like he works in the house or something like that. And so man came to Muhammad. Muhammad, hey, what about guys like me who have to go out of town? We have to leave our wives at home, and our wives are going to be around some other guy. What do we do about that? And Muhammad's solution that came from Allah, that was in the Quran, that was originally part of the Quran, was have your wife breastfeed the grown man 10 times, and then he'll basically be like her, he'll be her foster son, basically, because she breastfed him. And so there won't be any sexual tension between them when you're gone, because he'll be like her baby. And then there's this creepy part where a woman says, but Muhammad, he's got a beard. And Muhammad says, and it says, and I know he has a beard, and he smiled. So this is a creepy dude, right? He's like, yes, you see this guy with this beard? Yes, just have your wife put her big round breasts in his mouth so he can suck on her breast. And then he won't be sexually attracted to her anymore, because she'll be like his mom, and you can go out of town and not worry about anything. What a lunatic, man.
What a stupid fantasy is this, where apparently this is how you solve the problem of sexual attraction.
Yeah, it's like, who thinks that this is a good idea? That a man, like if a man is going to be around a woman,
and you don't want them committing some sort of sexual sin or something like that while you're gone. Oh, well, she could just pull up her dress and plop those bosoms right in his face. That's gonna solve the problem, right? No one in history except Muhammad would think this is a good idea. You would expect, if he's actually getting this from Allah, which is what he claimed, you would expect the creator of the universe, who created men and their minds and who created breasts, to actually know about what it does when a guy sucks on a woman's breast. Anyway, so here, the crazy part to me is that Allah and Muhammad think this is a great idea. Everyone else in history thinks it's stupid, except for guys who just want to do this.
Yeah, I know what happened. He actually tried. He probably tried this with one of his friends. He wanted one of his friends to come to visit him frequently and not be attracted to one of his many wives. So he invited them over and had them, try this out. This is actually a scientific experiment. He tried it out. He had them suck one of his wife's breasts, and then he asked him, "So, hey, did it work? Did it work? How do you feel about it now?" And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, yum yum. I'm absolutely no longer attracted to her. Yum yum yum." And he was like, "Oh, it seems to work. So I have a solution for us. Don't worry. Here, take my breasts and take my breasts." And
the crazy part is, Muhammad Hijab understands how stupid and insane this is, and he starts making fun of it. So for people who actually were defending it apparently and saying, "No, this is halal," and his response is, "Okay, can I fuck your wife to make a mahram?" And so he's making fun of this, and this is from Allah. This is from his God.